Are you a project manager looking for a weekly checklist? Well, if that's the case, then you've come to the right place because in today's video, I'm going to be showing you exactly how to create one from scratch, along with make some recommendations for the tasks and activities that you are going to want to conduct each week. Now, this video naturally follows on from the previous one I uploaded on the channel. And in that video, I walked you through an optimal daily checklist that you may want to proceed with. It's got all of the activities you want to undertake each day, and it even specifies and breaks it down by the time. So as I say, this weekly checklist naturally follows on from this. So if you did want to pick up both of these, pre-built, pre-formatted, there will be a link in the description down below. It will save you a lot of time and you'll have these templates in sync as well. But that being said, let me now walk you through how to create the weekly checklist from scratch, assuming you want to do this yourself. So the first thing that I would recommend that you do is just give the document a title. That way, if you share it with any stakeholders, perhaps even other project managers in your team, or if you use it yourself and you open it up, you can see exactly what you're looking at here. If it's just for yourself, you may just want to call it weekly checklist, but I will put in the full name just for now. Now in A1, I've pretty much just typed project manager weekly checklist. I've increased the font size to about 20, and I'm going to put, I'm going to select A1 through to M2, and I'm going to put a light grey fill color. Just differentiates it from the rest of the document. You can change the color and the font depending on your brand's, your organization's branding, or also your preferences as well. But I'm going to use grey because it's quite professional, and Calibri also is the font. Now, the first thing I'd recommend that you do is actually let's make the column A a smaller width, and you'll see why in a minute. It just kind of looks nicer and neater on the page. In B4, what we're going to put is we're going to put W/B, and in here we can put the week beginning. So essentially this is, let's just say it's, the day today is the 27th of January, so this could be something like week beginning 2701. It just gives you an idea as to what week the following checklist has been kind of created for. Now, you don't have to do this, but it's just very, very useful if you are using this on a weekly basis. You can also right-click here and click on Move or Copy and create a copy, and then you could have a checklist for each and every week, because it could be that your weekly checklist changes or you want some variation week on week. So that's one way of going about it, which is why this is useful. Underneath this, directly underneath this, we're going to put day, and this is going to enable us to break our activities and tasks by day, as the name suggests. We're going to have activity here, and I'll walk you through a couple of examples, but don't worry, I will pause the video and bring in all of the tasks and activities so you can see them without having to sit and watch me write every single one of them. We're going to put category, because that can be useful for filtering or just seeing things from a higher level. You may even want to run some analysis on the kinds of tasks that you're doing. Priority, we're going to have high, medium, and low. We are going to have status. We are going to have notes, because it's always important to capture or have the ability to capture additional notes or comments. Follow up required. That's going to be a yes or no. I'm actually going to do that. That makes more sense. We're going to have dependencies. If I can spell correctly, let's go again because I spelled it wrong. Dependencies. Have I got it this time? No. How can I not spell this? Let's go again. Sorry. It's because I'm trying to talk and write. So dependencies. There we go. And then outcome/deliverable. Now, you might even be you want the notes on the end. Sometimes that actually would be more logical to put that on the end, and then we'll just delete that off. So what I'm now going to do is I'm going to let's bold all of these. We'll bold this one as well. I'm going to put the grey formatting on, and let's put the grey formatting on these as well. So select all of those. Now, we can double click. No, actually, let's select B, hold shift and go through to K, and then let's just increase the width of the columns like that. So we've got a larger content area. Now for day, we can literally put in, let's just do Monday, and we're going to have a few activities on Monday. It could be something like the weekly kickoff meeting. I'll do a couple just to show you the examples. Review and update weekly calendar. Let's just do 2 for now. And as I say, I will be showing you all of the tasks and activities in a second. I will be pausing the video for us to see. So that's also Monday. So we're going to leave that blank. In the category, this is going to be planning. This is going to be scheduling. We could do a drop down here. If we're going to use the same ones, which chances are we are, I will set that up in the pre-built, pre-formatted template should you want to use that. If you didn't, what you can do basically to set this up is you can select the cells you want it in, click on data, data validation, in the allow, change that to list, and then we could put things like planning, comma, scheduling, comma, and then any other options that you want. So resource management could be an option, financial, you get the idea, comma, press OK. Now these are all options in the drop down, but there's more than that. Again, priority high, medium, low makes sense to put this as a drop down. Same process, data validation, list. Now you could put high, medium, low. Probably makes more sense just to write it out so that you know exactly what it is rather than HML if you ever were to not realize what that is. For status, what we're going to do here is we're going to set up a checkbox. Now to do that, there's a couple of things you need to do. Firstly, make sure that the developer option is enabled on your ribbon. If it isn't, to do that, kind of go up here somewhere, maybe go over here, right click and click customize this ribbon, and you're looking for developer on this left hand side. If it's in there and not visible at the top, you basically select it, let's just say that says developer, and you press add. Now I've already done that, which is why it's on the right hand side. Just make sure it's on this right hand side. This is your ribbon essentially, and these are all the options that aren't currently on there. And then you press OK, and that will enable this to appear. And then once that's appeared, you click insert and then you choose checkbox. Now I'm just going to draw it kind of in the middle, and I'm actually going to align it in the middle. And then I'm going to right click, edit text, and just hold delete down on my keyboard. We don't want any text. So now you just have the ability to check it. We could even change this to something like completed. Follow-up required. Again, that's just a yes, no. So we could set it up as a drop down, something like right click, data validation, list, yes, no. Dependencies, basically you type in here if there's a dependency. So as an example, let's just say we can't conduct the review and the update of the weekly calendar until we've had our weekly kickoff meeting. So what we'd essentially be just doing here is copying that in here. You just basically just type in. You could even actually put something like, you could put 6, aka row 6. It's just giving you reference that you can't do this until you've done that, essentially. That's essentially what the dependencies is. An outcome deliverable, this is going to be essentially what comes of it. It could be something like meeting notes. You get the idea. Something that's produced off the back of that activity. And then we want notes over here. And then this could be no further comment needed. So that's an example of the first two. Let me just pause the video. I will basically add all the activities, the categories and the days, and you will see what this template looks like when it's pre-built. So I've copied across all of the activities and basically just populated this template. You can obviously you can pause the video and copy this across if you've got the time. Otherwise, as I say, link in the description below and enable you to pick that up in seconds. Basically, the way this is set up, in the first column we have the day, so we've got Monday and then all of the tasks related to Monday. Tuesday, again, we've got the same process. Now you could bold these actually, that might make it more easier on the eye to differentiate the days. But yeah, we've got a full week of activities here. If I just show you some of the activities, we've touched upon these already. We need to look at resource allocation. We need to look at the weekly budget and financial goals. That might not be applicable depending on your project management position, but it is part and parcel of most project management positions these days. Plan major tasks and milestones. Then on Tuesday, we can have our client check-ins. We can update project documentation. Again, we may or may not need to do this. Another team stand-up or huddle. Basically it's a daily task here, so we should have this each and every day, really. Midweek review meeting, so just called something else. Adjust the resource allocation if needed. May want to conduct one-on-one meetings with team members and staff. Let me pull this across. Update action items and documentation, stakeholder alignment meetings, plan upcoming week's priorities, so that would be for next week essentially. Review and respond to pending communications, finalize project documentation for the week. And on Friday, we want to basically produce our weekly status report. We want to have an end of week team debrief. We want to plan and schedule meetings for next week. We want to review and archive completed tasks. And it's also important to celebrate team achievements, or maybe just have a kind of close-off meeting with them. And then you'll see here, we've got the dependencies in. We've got follow up on some of these. We've got all the checkboxes should we need them. We've got all the different categories in here, including documentation, communication. Now, if we did want to add a task to any day, all we need to do is right-click, insert, and then you could just literally put it in. Look, you could just type it in here. So that's the beauty of this particular template. And then we've got outcome deliverables, and we've got notes. So anywhere to add additional comments, or what the activity is and what we're looking to achieve. So I hope this video is useful. You now have a weekly checklist, at least in a format that you can leverage, even if your activities are slightly different. These are applicable to most projects and should be useful for you. As I say, if you did want to pick this template up, link in the description down below. You'll also get the daily checklist as well, which will be really, really useful. Other than that, over to you. Best of luck, and I hope you have an excellent day.